All right, everybody, here we are. Doug, Lindsay, if you know us, you know who we are. We decided to do a podcast because apparently we have lots of things to talk about.
This is very true.
We have lots of things to talk about. We have things that we need to share. I always feel like whenever I say that I feel like Frank Costanza at Festivus.
I do have many opinions and grievances that need to be aired.
I got a lot of problems with you people, and you're going to hear about it. All right, so this is our show.
We're going to try to make it not too bitchy and too complaining.
No. Yeah, we can't have like just a bitch fest show where we just complain about everything. So this is the BFR Podcast, and I think most of what we're going to talk about is all lifting related. As an athlete, as a coach, as gym owners, I think that's definitely going to come into play at least a couple of times. You definitely compete more than I do. At this point.
I mean, that's true, but I really still only try to compete twice a year.
Well, that's very true.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I just haven't competed. I'm used to competing like 4 to 6 times a year in Kettlebell, and now, I only compete once or twice.
I competed once last year. And
Yeah.
That's all I needed. The year before was only twice.
I mean, I feel like part of that's also due to COVID, and that's over with now. But then again, you competed in Florida and Georgia, and it was like COVID didn't exist.
It did in Georgia. It did not in Florida because it was before everything got shut down.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Anyways,
But
so I think our goal for the show is just to really talk about life as a lifter and a coach and an athlete and a gym owner, and kind of how we navigate that life, including the people that are in our life. Because I think we've talked about privately, like issues with, like, not issues with our family, but like how we interact with our family and how that's different than, like, I think how normal people interact with their family and friends, because like our real close friends are all in the gym, so they're all lifters. But sometimes like your family doesn't understand like your lifestyle. And I
think at this point they all accept it.
Yeah, our family does. But I feel like other lifters, their families don't understand this lifestyle.
No.
So I think our goal is to share some of our experiences as athletes and coaches and gym owners and friends and family members, and hopefully that will help some people maybe not make mistakes, or maybe help them compete better, help them train better, help them coach better. So I think that's really just my goal. And just, again, we have a lot to talk about. And we need to get a lot of things off of our chest.
Yes.
Yeah? Yeah. So I think a couple of small items to talk about before we get into like the main topic. I wanted to talk about you competing at the Arnold and me helping you compete at the Arnold. And then we'll talk about Louis, and those are the only 2 small things. And then we'll get to the real goal of episode 1. So let me see, what is it? It's been a month. Yeah.
Month and a week.
A month and a week, yeah, because it's April 10th today. This probably won't air for another week because I have to set up all the stuff and do all the editing. So Yeah, a month and a week was the Arnold. That was super fun.
That's a little stressful.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as stressful as USAPL Nationals. That was hardcore stressful.
That was stressful for you. That was easy for me.
Yeah, because we had James there. So some of you, those of you who know us and know us well, Lindsay is coached by James Townsend of Elite Iron in Atlanta, Georgia. And James was the USAPL equipped team coach. And
I assume that's carrying over to the new organization.
is it Powerlifting America?
Yes.
Powerlifting America. Yeah, we're not even going to get into these names. It's ridiculous.
Too many and too few options left over.
Yeah, I feel like that was. I feel like they just typed things into like the GoDaddy search for like websites that are available, and this is what they settled on, which is fine, but whatever. Yeah, we had James. We were obviously with James at Nationals, and while that was extremely stressful for me because I had to wrap your knees and it was really fast, it was the fastest meet I've ever seen in my life. You had James there, so like you didn't have to really do anything other than.
And after you did my knee wrapping, you really didn't have to do anything either because he called numbers and he had his guys helping out back on warm ups and numbers and reps and all sorts of stuff. So
Yeah,
it was just the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes of hell, the fastest squat session I've ever seen.
We learned our lesson with the reps and number of reps.
Yeah, girls showed up with like 12 reps, and we thought that they were crazy, and then we realized why. They wrap them all,
and then just discard.
And then just discard as they go through their warm-ups and then through their competition 3 attempts.
Yes.
And we learned our lesson because we only had one set of reps.
Oh, Doug was running.
And I had to run out back and re-wrap each one of them in between each session. So if there's one thing that you guys learn from this podcast right here, it's
if you squat and wraps, get more than one pair.
Get at minimum 6 sets of wraps, and then you can wrap them all, and you can go through your warm-ups and your 3 attempts, and you'll be fine. So there's one thing, if you learn one thing today, that's it right there.
Multiple sets of
wraps. But yeah, the Arnold,
that was a different beast.
We did not have James with us, so it was all on me. And that was definitely the biggest meet I've ever helped you out at, and it's the biggest meet. Normally I'm competing in kettlebell sport or just local O-lifting competitions, and they're very, very low key and very low stress. That was pure insanity.
It wasn't big, like number of people wise. It was just
no
where it was and
the crowd,
the speed in which it was.
Yeah, that was fast. The Nationals was like 9 minutes, 8 or 9 minutes in between each attempt for the girls, and the Arnold was like 6 minutes.
It was less than that.
You think it was less than 6 minutes?
Yeah, it was real fast because we only had, because the one girl didn't show up, and we went from having 8 people down to 7.
Down to 7. So it was maybe 5 minutes.
It was.
I think it was 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.5 to 5 minutes between attempts.
Also, even though I used to be on the no cardio train, do your cardio if you're a power lifter.
Yeah.
You never know when you're going to get stuck at a meet going, oh shit, I got like 3 minutes of rest before we start wrapping knees.
Yeah, especially on the equipped side. If you're equipped and you're in wraps, you need to do at least like 1 day a week of like just some medium effort bike sprints. Very short. You only need like
nothing crazy,
just 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, even 1 minute of rest. Because
if I hadn't, we'd have been in big trouble.
That was rough. I can't imagine. I was pouring sweat, and that was just from me just wrapping your knees.
Yes.
I can't imagine actually lifting. That was crazy.
Yeah.
But You won second place, and you got a check.
I did.
So now you're officially a quote professional athlete.
Quote, yeah. That doesn't begin to pay back what we've put into the sport out of our own expenses.
Yeah, I feel it, and we'll get into this stuff like in future episodes because this is stuff that we love to talk about. Like people see, like Taylor Atwood and Heather Connors and these people that have like tens of thousands of followers on social media, and they want to get into powerlifting, and they think that like, they're going to get sponsorships and they're going to be able to quit their job and just hang out in the gym and lift all day. And like,
every powerlifter has a job.
That ain't going to happen. You're not.
Those are not great examples.
Yeah. Like, isn't Heather Connors like a math teacher or
She's
something?
A teacher of some sort.
Or like a fourth grade teacher or something?
Yeah, and I think Taylor does some sort of like business management consulting or something along those lines.
Right. Yeah, like trust me, like
it's pretty rare that a powerlifter doesn't have a job.
Yeah. Like everyone has a job.
Yeah.
Like Blaine Sumner has a job.
Yeah.
Like Bonica has a job.
Yeah.
Like everybody has a job. Don't think you're getting into powerlifting and like you're gonna like not have a job. You're just gonna lift and get sponsorship. Like
I have a job.
Yeah, that's not
it's not in
a
gym either. For those of you who don't know.
Yeah, and it's very rare even still. There are a lot of powerlifters and O-lifters that own gyms, so like they kind of do get to hang out in the gym all day. And like while I wouldn't say I work a lot, because I don't, but my day is like 12 to 14 hours long at the gym. So even if you own a gym and you're a lifter, like your job is not necessarily easy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Arnold was crazy. I think I've competed at the Arnold 4 times, and now you've competed.
I did kettlebell way back.
You compete
just once.
Just that first time?
Yes.
That we went? Yeah. So it was like 2014?
Yeah.
Yeah, or 2013.
I don't remember.
I think it was 2014 because that was the year that like I went to the Arnold. We went to. No, it was 2013. No, it was 2013 because 2014 I think that we went to the Arnold. And we went to Ice Chamber, and I competed in Russia. I think that was 2014. So
that was 2015.
That was 2015?
Yeah.
Okay. So then 2014
was the first time we went to the Arnold.
Was the first time we went to the Arnold.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, I've competed there 4 times, and you've competed twice.
Yep.
So the Arnold is, if you've never been to the Arnold, I think everyone should go because it's absolutely wild. Just the number of people and like the people watching. The Arnold bingo card for people watching was great.
I didn't walk around at all this year.
Yeah.
So we went up on a Thursday. So Doug, Chris, and Krista walked around Friday for a little bit, but I just didn't want to go and get overloaded or anything. And then by the time Saturday competition rolled around, I was
done and ready to go.
Get me out and get me food.
Yeah, seriously.
So, but I mean, like once you've been, and not much changes other than just.
Yeah, you could literally go to the Arnold like once every 5 years, and like you'll be okay.
I've had my fill for a little bit.
So, yeah, so that was the Arnold.
Yep.
Yeah. So moving on. So the death of Louis Simmons. That's the one thing that I had to say because I don't want this as the first episode. I don't want too much of a time lapse in between like our first episode or talking about Louis. Basically, all that I really have to say is, everyone that touches a barbell, from weightlifters, even to Olympic lifters, to bodybuilders, and even to strongman competitors, to a very, very small extent, but all powerlifters especially, basically, we wouldn't even be here making this podcast today because his influence over powerlifting and the information that he gave people. Lindsay's first coach, our first kettlebell coach, her first powerlifting coach, Scott Shetler. Scott was a big West Side guy, and he's trained and hung out with Louie, and just a ton of information has been shared throughout the world from him, from West Side, and definitely helped grow the sport of powerlifting to what it is today. So, R.I.P. Louie. That was a very sad moment to hear about him dying. Mm-hmm. The good part is that Tom is going to take over, and West Side will continue. Yeah. So.
Wasn't supposed to, but it is.
Yeah, I really did not. Louie made it sound like once he died, West Side was over. Mm-hmm. So I was glad if anybody's on the West Side email list, we all got the email last week, and it was like, hey, it's Tom, and we're gonna keep doing this. And it was cool to read that email. And there was actually a really cool, if you follow that email and go to the West Side blog, there's actually a really cool little story in there about Louie. There's like 10,000 stories about Louie, and I love reading all of them. So it was cool. It's good to hear. So that's that. Moving on. Our real topic for today. Expectations.
We all got them.
Yeah. Well, it was your topic. This is what you wanted to talk about. So.
Yeah.
It was, how did you say it? Like, when to set high expectations for yourself? I can't remember exactly how you put it to me the other day. Like,
I don't remember.
No. Great.
We should probably start writing this shit down.
Yeah.
That video from Bryce with Calgary Barbell that's been floating around for like a week and a half or so, where he had talked about setting high expectations of yourself and knowing when to keep those expectations or managing any outside stressors that can affect your lifting. And, are you even really of a level to really think that, your expectations within the gym are going to be the same as, I know I'm not anywhere near some of the best equipped lifters in the world. So I know that my expectations that I have for myself aren't going to be nearly as high as what they're going to have for themselves. It doesn't mean like I dick off in the gym. I take it very seriously, but also like I had a really rough first half of my week last week, and it just was what it was. I didn't let it get to me. I didn't let it beat me up. I was very honest with, giving feedback on my lifts to my coach, just being like, I feel like absolute shit. Like I don't know what to do, and he's wanting to put me in my suit for deadlifts, and I'm like, I'm not going to do this. So like on that aspect, like I know when to push back. I had to drop my weights on some sets, and I just didn't let it eat me up. We have some people who just really get bent when they have to drop their weight by a couple pounds or a couple kilos, or if they missed, it called for a set of 3 and they could only do 2. Like it's fine, not every day is going to be a perfect day.
Right.
Just managing those expectations. Most of us work an outside job. I work as a graphic designer. Thank God I switched my jobs last year because I am very much less stressed. But, if I were in the same position that I was before I changed jobs, I would not lift as well as I do, and it just is what it is. It's an outside factor that I can't necessarily control. So, just controlling what you can control. You can control your diet. You can still control your sleep. You can control whether or not you drink and how much you are drinking and how much water you're drinking every day. There's so many different factors that you can control that just figuring out how those all work together is part of being an athlete and getting your head on straight. As coaches and gym owners, we can't necessarily get inside your head and tell you how to think. That's when we're like,
Right.
Just make the adjustment.
Make
like
the-
literally, like that's
make
all
the
we can really
adjustment.
say is, you know, oh, you slept like shit last night. Just make the adjustment to your lifting.
Right. Yeah, I feel like, there's times that you can push through, and like, my sleep is frequently not nearly as much as it should be. And I'm sure that, again, last week, same thing, that the beginning of my week, my lifting went really well, and then maxed
we're
out.
opposite.
Yeah, we were definitely opposite. You had good sessions at the end of the week, and mine were good at the beginning of the week, and then shit at the end of the week. I was supposed to max out and just, I got into poison ivy last week, so, antihistamines, and, my face is itchy, and, I didn't sleep enough, and there's so many things that go into lifting, and, I'm definitely falling into the category of exactly what we were talking about, where my expectations for Friday max out were really, really high. Like, I'm looking to set new PRs on this day, and I was nowhere close. I mean, not even ballpark. I think I barely snatched 90 or 92% of my max. So we were definitely not hitting a PR. I was close on clean and jerk. Very close. I was at like 98% or something, or 97.5. So, but basically I've been able to hit that for like the past 3 or 4 weeks. So I should have been able to hit it further, but now factor in, not great sleep, and, the poison ivy and the antihistamines, and like, bang, that's it right there. Like, there's no way me going into that session, like I should have damn well known, like there was no way that I was going to hit a PR in that session. But yeah, I still in my head was like, load it. And I did. I loaded it, and it didn't move.
No, and then I thought you were coming outside to greet me when I pulled in, but you had a tennis ball bucket in your hand and you threw it, so...
I needed to throw something.
Yeah. And it's a good thing you didn't break anything inside the gym.
Yeah,
Make a complete ass of yourself in front of everyone.
Yeah, I think there were only like 3 people in the gym, but one of them... I'm actually thankful. One of the lifters in the gym is a very young lifter. What's Kayla, like 22 years old?
Something like that, yeah.
And like, she's very young. She's impressionable. She just started with us 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And I really did not want to have her see me lose my shit over missed lifts. So I took myself outside and threw a bucket across the parking lot. And then I came back inside, and that was it. I didn't say a word. I didn't break anything. If anybody knows me, I have a tendency to break chairs and tripods. Those are my favorite things to break. I've gotten better over the years, but it'll never go away. So, I just have to control it. But yeah, I had high expectations for myself for that day. And it just...
You shouldn't have.
And I shouldn't
had
have.
as high.
I shouldn't have. The problem was it's the end of a 6-week block, and I should have been hitting a big number. But due to other factors in my life, there was no way I was going to hit a big number. That just was not going to happen, And it's like, we'll always say this, like, we take lifting and we take training seriously, but we try not to take ourselves too seriously, because, I mean, in the world of O-lifting, I mean, I'm definitely nobody. I mean, my numbers in O-lifting are a joke. I mean, like, there's 47, 52 kilo girls out there that outlift me. So like, whatever, I'm just doing it to better myself and have fun and focus on something.
Yeah.
What did we looked up the world rankings for equipped powerlifters, You were like
way down.
264th or something.
You looked that up. I didn't look it up.
But, you know, open powerlifting.
I can just filter that shit and make myself number one.
Yeah, open powerlifting. We just filtered that down to, drug tested and 47 kilo. And we could throw on USAPL only. And then we can throw on...
like a date filter.
Oh, we put on the year
age filter.
Yeah, we put on the year filter, and then it was like
I don't know if I can do Ajax. I'm still
no, you can't. You're not yet. I can because I'm masters because I'm over 40, over 35. Well, masters in O-lifting is over 35. So, but yeah, then we threw on that 2020 filter, and bang, you were like number 2.
I make myself number 1 if I want to.
Yeah.
In my own head. The screen says it.
Yeah. So that's the whole point. Like, I can't have super high expectations for myself. I do have high expectations for myself in the fact that I'm very dedicated to my program. I'm under a Cal Strength program, and I do not miss a session. Like I don't miss sessions. I generally 99% of the time do the exact sets, the exact reps, and the exact weight percentage prescribed. I generally don't. If I do mess with it at all, it's like, you fake add 2 kilos to your PR so that it like bumps your percentage by like 1 kilo. It's one of those things. Or like, if I feel really, really good that day, I might add like 4 kilos or 5 kilos at the most. But aside from that, I don't deviate from the program. So like, and we'll get into this in future episodes about like being coachable. Like, do you take direction well? But like, yeah, I'm very dedicated lifter. I'm very disciplined. So I expect that if I go through a 6-week block and I do well, my food is good, my sleep is good, and I'm actually stretching, rehabbing, I do expect that I'm going to hit a PR. And magically, not all of those things were in check on this 6-week block. And what do you know? I did not hit a PR. Shocking. But I was really upset about it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Mostly because I missed 2 weights that like I really should not have missed, and it jacked my shoulder up, and then it was just all downhill from there. But yeah, if you like, if all of those things are not in check, you really can't expect. How can you expect great things of yourself? Like, you think that like just magically you're gonna walk into the gym and just squat huge numbers.
There's so much to go into it, making sure your macros are on track, making sure you're taking the right supplements. And I don't mean like your freaking PED shit, but like when I screwed my back up when I was helping you load and unload your warm-ups for your meet, and I fucked my back up, and I got a list of 20 questions and of what I'm taking, or I had like one bad lifting session where like I failed a weight like twice in my suit in wraps and straps up, and I got back. How's your sleep? How's your diet? What are you taking for supplements? Are you taking fish oil? Are you taking glucosamine? Are you taking this? Are you taking that? Down to, where the hell as a female I am in my freaking cycle. Like, all of that shit does go hand in hand.
Right.
You can't outrun a lot of, habits outside the gym. So regardless of the time you're putting in the gym, you have to make sure you're doing everything else outside of it.
Right.
Including, making sure when you clock out for the day, your work stays at work and you're not bringing that shit and that stress in with you.
Yeah, that's a huge thing. I think we're definitely going to get into that in another episode, because we have lifters that have massive issues with, their work life balance, and we'll get into that later. But same thing, yeah. If work is overloading you and stressing you out, again, you can't expect to walk into the gym and just be hitting big weights.
Yeah.
And I think the bigger thing on top of that is if you miss sessions. Mm-hmm. If you like I said, we're super dedicated. We do not miss sessions. Like that's a big, like we will move mountains. I'll move heaven and earth to make sure that I get in all my sessions. Mm-hmm. Whether I do it early in the morning or late at night, I generally lift at the same time every day. But like sometimes if I get busy and then new clients come into the gym, I have to train them, fine. Lifting gets put on hold, I'll lift late at night.
Yeah.
And if I do lift late at night, I really don't expect myself, I'm outside of my window and I know like that session may not go good. That's a mental thing that like I definitely have. If I have to lift off schedule, it may not go.
The only time I have an issue with that is if I'm training in all my gear. Like I cannot do that shit at like 6 a.m.
Oh, yeah, no.
So I just gotta push it or deal with it later. Like if I have like a dentist appointment or some shit.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, I tried to shirt bench one time at like 6 or 7 a.m. and it was...
It didn't go very well.
I mean, I just switched into a looser shirt. I just didn't have the mental wherewithal to make the tighter shirt work.
I mean, I've tried even O-lifters that are doing 2-a-days, like they're not doing their first session at like 6 a.m. It's at like 9 or 10. Like
6 a.m. is for like light cardio.
Yeah.
Going for a walk.
Yeah, and even like traveling, like when we travel, like I still try to get in my sessions. Like we went to the Arnold and I found a local gym and I still got in my sessions. But I really did not expect training at someone else's gym, different environment, different time. I didn't expect that session to go extremely well. Oddly, it actually did. I actually did pretty well on that session, but I didn't expect it to. So
I'm a little bit more lax on myself if we go on vacation. I mean, but like the last real vacation we went on was Puerto Rico a few years ago, and you went and trained kettlebells, and I just didn't feel like going to go find a gym because I can't do kettlebell work overhead.
Right.
And I just didn't want to deal with... My Spanish is not that great anymore, so I didn't want to have any weird language barriers or even trying to figure out where the hell shit was. So
I mean, even,
I took a nap,
even
and that's
that,
okay.
Right.
But we walked a lot.
Yeah. And I mean, like, even that's an expectation in itself. Like, if you go on vacation, like, number one, like, I don't necessarily expect all of our lifters, like, if they go on vacation to, like, absolutely get in all of their sessions. Because, like, maybe they're not quite there, you know, and that could be, and also where are they traveling to in the world? Like, you know, like we got a girl going on a cruise and like that cruise gym is trash. It's just like some dumbbells and a Smith machine. So like she's not going to get in all of her stuff. So I don't expect her to. And when she comes back from vacation, this is my real point. Like if you go on vacation and you don't get in all your sessions, or maybe you get in one or two, or like, you know, again, cruise gym, all you got is dumbbells. I don't expect you to go on that vacation and then come back and just immediately like be back to lifting, you know, 90% lifts. Like it just doesn't work like that. So, you know, that's another expectation thing that, you know, people have to have. But anyways, that's the grand point was, you know,
managing.
Yeah.
Day to day.
Yeah, manage.
Get a little mental check-in list going.
Right, managing expectations of yourself. You know, did you sleep well? Did you eat well? How's your mobility? You know, how's your stretching? How's your rehab work? How's your supplements? You have this whole checklist. How's your work life? How's your stress level? You know, your relationships with, you know, your family and things like that, your home life.
Significant others.
Dogs, right?
Cats.
Yeah.
Because that cat.
What? You can't blame the cat for anything. Come on.
I can.
God. She's loud, but she's special. But yeah, you have to manage those expectations. And if something is off in that checklist, then, you know, we can't put that expectation way up here because it just might not work.
Nope.
Some days it magically does.
Yes.
Like, you didn't sleep for shit, you didn't eat right.
You're super sore or tight, and somehow you magically lift really well.
Somehow you made it through your workout as prescribed, and all your lifts went okay.
Yep.
And you're like, damn, I don't know how that happened, but okay, I'll take it. Yeah. That's,
other days you just barely eke through it.
Yeah, seriously. And
sometimes you just gotta punch the clock.
That's life as a lifter. You get your session done, you do what you can, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, simple as that. So, anyways, I think we talked enough about expectations and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
we'll see how far over half an hour this session was.
I think it's substantial.
Substantial?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh well.
We'll see.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, thanks for watching or listening. If you're just on the podcast, I'm going to plan on uploading this to video and podcast. So if you're watching, thanks for watching. If you're listening, thanks for listening. Either way, thanks for tuning in. That's it. Peace.